What's up, folks? Guerrilla Radio, episode 3 with
Jason Snell.
Jason Snell, I forgot his name.
Yeah.
Good way to start.
And Susie Cook. So today we're going to cover a couple different topics. First and foremost, he's going to explain to us what the hell Rolfing is and why we should be talking about it and doing it. I mean that in a good way. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to talk about how to get out of a training slump, which is, I think, perfect timing because of the post-open hangover that always happens if you've done the CrossFit Open, or generally it just applies to you, as well as spring break time. So a lot of people right after the Open, they get kind of tired and burn out, so they take a week or two off, then spring break happens, and before you know it, 30 days has passed and they haven't been in the gym. So we'll talk about how to get out of those slumps a little bit. But first, since Jason's first time on the show, if somebody asked you what you do, how would you explain that?
Well, there's a lot to it, but the most simplest way of putting it is that I do a unique type of body work that has a systematic approach on helping the body become just moving better, just getting people to move better, freer, with less pain, and so on.
Okay. And so how does that differentiate? You know, we know Susie does a lot of ART and grass and stuff, so talk to me about the differences there, or regular massage too.
Yeah, so what I'm doing within my sessions, I'm looking at the compartments within the body. So the shoulder girdle and how it relates to the spine, how it relates to the thoracic rib cage. And I'm not just looking at just the shoulder if you have a shoulder injury. I'm looking at the I'm looking at everything that's going on within that shoulder and out from that shoulder. So if you have a shoulder injury, I'm going to check that out. I'm going to check out your forearm. I'm going to check out your lower back, all the way down to maybe your glutes and so on. So I really look at everything at the body, within the body and within the compartments to see on how they relate to each other, on whether or not.
So when you find deficiencies within those compartments, how do you address the issue? How do you fix the problem?
How do I fix the problem? Well, I just get them aware of on how they're holding their body. So I bring awareness to them on like, hey, do you feel this? Do you sense what's going on in this area? And then, from there I start applying pressure. It's very, very slow. It's not like massage. Massage is usually a little bit faster. They use oils, and then other modalities, they use some kind of tool of some sort. I use my hands and I go very, very slow so I can actually listen to their nervous system, see if whether or not their system's actually accepting the work. And that's one of the biggest things, is just going very, very slow to listen to what the body is telling you. Is it relaxing? Is it not?
So who would be an ideal candidate for you? Just in general, if someone's looking, if they've got something going on and they're like, I don't know what direction to take, I don't know who to see, what to do, who would be the ideal person to see for you?
Good question. So I would say anybody that has an injury, that has a trauma of any sort, that's been struggling to rehab on themselves or go to somebody, and if they're not getting the results they're looking for, they definitely come to me. And or if they just want to bypass doing physical therapy, I wouldn't suggest doing that, but I'm just saying if they're going to bypass that to begin with, then they should be coming to see me. Along with that, anybody that just has bad posture, piss poor posture, right? It's common, we see it all the time. So if anybody that has bad posture or sits all day, just doesn't move a lot, people like that should definitely be coming to see me, especially if they're starting to notice lack of mobility, lack of function within their walk, and so on.
So you talked a little bit about the history of Rolfing. So you had to go through, I mean, it was a lot of training, and you're the only certified practitioner in Northeast Indiana?
Yes, correct. Yeah,
so talk to me about the training process for that.
The training process, so I went out to Boulder, Colorado. I moved out there basically for 2 months at a time and just did an intensive program, 8 to 10 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week, and we just train on anatomy, physiology, touching the body, learning how to touch the body, and perception, really honing in on the different types of perception that people can have in how to touch the body.
So what is a recent case study for you? Somebody that came in with X and you did X in it and made it better?
Yeah, so I had a guy come in. I actually have an appointment with him today. I had a guy come in last week. He's been struggling with lower back pain and shoulder pain for quite some time, and he's gone to doctors several times, MRI several times, trying to figure it out, couldn't figure it out. He comes to me within one session, I get him on the table and I work for an hour and a half, shoulder and back, and he's said, hey, I can't believe that I have less pain after just an hour and a half. I've been trying to figure this out for, years. But he hasn't been able to work out, he hasn't been able to go running, do soccer, all the things that he loves to do, and I just look at the compartments and how they relate to each other, and I find the sticky, tight areas that are holding the inhibitions within the tissue, and we slowly just work it out.
Okay.
Now, with anything, do you recommend too, like a lot of home care?
Absolutely.
Because of course you're going to get change, but in
Yes.
order to get more consistent change and permanent change and those kind of things, so many sessions are probably needed, and then as well as working on posture and working on feeling where you're holding yourself and how.
Yeah, so homework is a big thing with me. Even though I don't demand it out of people, I kind of give them the option of letting them know, like, hey, this is the way you were moving prior to the session, this is the way you're moving now, and then I get them to kind of fill me in on that change. What is the change? What happened? What happened from point A to point B? And then I tell them, hey, explore that. Go home, see what it feels. Maybe you're walking down the street, going from point A to point B from work. Explore what it feels like to just play around with that new range of motion, or a lot of what we do is work on breath, making sure that they can breathe all the way down from their sacrum all the way up to their scalenes, right? So you should be able to feel that breath. So a lot of times I just have them, from the drive home to the drive to work, explore your breath. Can you get the breath to move from point A to point B within the body? And if not, can you consciously conjure that up and get it to move? So a lot of things are homework, but it's just like from time to time. I don't like demand like, hey, you have to do this. But most of the time, they love the experience that they just do it naturally to begin with. It doesn't even feel like homework to them. It just happens.
Yeah, I thought the awareness was cool. I did one session a while back, but it was about, we did a lot of walking, and it was, do you feel how your weight shifting to your left? Do you feel how your heel to toe impact wasn't the same? And you just don't think about it when you're doing it, right?
Yeah.
And when you start being aware of it, you could see the imbalances and work from there. So I thought that was cool. Cool. So where do people find you?
They can find me at my website. It's fortwaynerolfing.com. They can find me on Facebook, Fort Wayne Rolfing, and they can also just email me for Jason at fortwaynerolfing.com as well.
Cool.
Perfect.
All right, so let's transition a little bit into kind of this idea of training slumps, right? So we brought Jason on not only because of Rolfing, but he's got a pretty extensive training background in MMA, CrossFit, and probably a lot of other things.
Yeah.
Probably try. So, and again, the timing right now, a lot of people get burned out right after the Open. They spend 5 weeks focusing on that one big workout per week. Some crazy people do it 2 to 3 times to retest themselves, which is nuts, but some people do. So you just get smoked, neurologically and psychologically. So talk a bit about, and this is to everybody, if you've been in a training slump yourself, how you get out of it, how do you get back on track, and then as coaches, as you've all coached people, what advice do you give to them to get out of that slump?
Good question.
The first thing I normally, if I were to suggest to someone else, which is, taking your own advice is always the hardest.
Yeah.
But it's normally finding accountability somewhere. Public accountability, whether it's finding a friend or a family member to do something with you and set a time frame and a goal, and pick something that's very achievable. Like, don't go crazy with your goals. Find something that you can kind of reach towards that's not out of this world. But huge accountability. That makes a big difference in doing something publicly, so that it's not you're holding yourself accountable, but you're other people are expecting it out of you too.
Yeah, I like public accountability, and I like to hit people where it hurts. So I had a guy one time. He's like a hardcore conservative. So this was like during the election a few years ago, and I told him if he didn't hit the goals because he'd been falling off for 2 months, that he had to donate $500 to the Democratic presidential campaign. And nothing fired this dude up more than that threat. So it was like I could have, if he'd had to pay me the $500 as like some sort of fee that he wouldn't have cared.
Yeah.
But the fact that he had to give
Pay
me
it to them.
$500 to Hillary Clinton was like nothing could motivate him more. So I like the
Yeah.
public accountability, but it has to be something that hurts, right?
Yes.
For $10, you probably if you
Yeah,
don't feel it,
it's
you're
not a
gonna
big
care,
deal.
right?
Mhm.
I like
Yeah.
accountability. Yeah. One thing I focus on too is you can kind of create this negative feedback loop of beating yourself up.
Right.
So you miss 1 week and that sucks, and you miss 2 weeks. Well, I missed 2 weeks. Why start now? You miss 3 weeks. And all of a sudden, 2 months has gone by, and like
Easy
you
to
just
fall in a
keep,
loop.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You just dig yourself the soul. So the first thing is realize, and then the conversation becomes, I've lost everything I've ever
Then,
gained.
yeah,
Right.
like,
I'm
now I'm
starting from
starting from
scratch.
scratch.
It's terrible. So the first thing I always tell people is, you know, you haven't lost your gains, right? You may have taken a step back, but you haven't lost everything you ever put in there. And then just stop beating yourself up. Right? So it's not the end of the world. It happens to everybody. If you look at training as a lifelong approach, right? I think it was Dan John, the get 1% better every year mentality when you're
Yes.
in whatever you're doing, then falling off for a month isn't the end of the world. So
Well, and keeping in mind too, with when you first start something new, you see big gains, big jumps,
Right,
big progress. You see all these massive changes very fast, very quickly.
yeah,
and
just
then,
like Mikey.
and then
one
all
set-
of a sudden, like you maybe hit 1 pound more on your PR or something, and it's like once every so many months. Like it's not a continuous thing. So that can get frustrating. It gets in people's head because they're like, well, I just PR'd by like 20 pounds, and now I'm only PRing by like 1 pound.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's you also have to kind of take into consideration how far you've come over an extended period of time,
Yeah.
and not look at just each day to day.
Totally.
Yeah, I think that's big. The feed off of what you're saying, Justin, I think I've just come out of this slump. Like, and it was over the past year going to the Rolfing Institute and studying. Like, it was really hard for me to find time to train when I have every brewery out there in Colorado
And other stuff.
and other stuff, right? So I really lived it up when I was out there,
Yeah.
and I didn't train as much. And I come back and I feel like crap. I know my brain function wasn't as high as it could be, because I know brain function capabilities and efficiency within the brain come from training, and I always felt sharper when training. So coming back home, it was just like one day at a time, you know, going back to what you're saying, and just saying, okay, I'm going to train one day out of the week.
Right.
And just, I mean,
And build
I mean,
off
yeah, I've been building, and now I'm up to, you know, four times a week that I'm training in multiple modalities of fitness. So it's just picking, you know, one day out of the week and saying, hey, I'm going to build a habit on coming, doing something once a week, and then building from that. So I think that's really important, is just making it short and sweet,
Right.
and just build.
So you can,
build.
it doesn't feel like you're failing constantly. You're not
Yeah.
reaching, and don't necessarily set a time frame. Don't say I have to do this in this many X amount of days, because if you don't get there, then it's kind of like a big letdown. Just say I want to get this. When you get it, you're like, yes, move on to the next goal.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think it's I always remind people too, if it sucks, you're not going to do it, so make it fun, right? Sometimes maybe it's not getting back in the gym. I like your multiple modality training, right? We box on Mondays. Jason and I box on Mondays, and that's great because it disrupts everything else I do. It's not how I normally train, and it's fun, it's different. And maybe that's running or hiking or doing something else outside of the gym, because all we do in the gym is for everything we want to do outside of the gym. So taking your fitness outside and finding some sort of endeavor out there that you enjoy is a great way to reset it and make it fun.
That's
so then
huge.
you remind yourself why you're doing this.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just now starting to getting, you know, into CrossFit again. I haven't done any CrossFit for over a year, and I came in and did the Open.
Just started.
Yeah,
Jump right in.
I jumped right in, you know, and I had no expectations except for the fact that I wanted to move cleanly, as clean as I possibly could. With, you know, I know the movements. I know I can do the movements, but I just wanted to move cleanly and smoothly throughout. Even though I was gasping for air, you know, throughout the entire workout, for every opening workout, I still came, and I was like, I wanted to dedicate myself to kind of, you know, getting back into it, and I did.
Well, and having something like the Open gets you in the gym and keeps you accountable that way too. And I've got a competition coming up, and then I've got a triathlon, and then I've got another race. Like, I've got all these things that are month to month to month that, I mean, one, keep you on top of how you eat and how you train, and making sure you're, you know, doing what you can to make sure that those events and those things aren't miserable. So they do. They keep you motivated. They keep you kind of on track. So having, And that holds you accountable because you pay money for those things. And so you're like, I'm not going to waste all that money that I just put into that. And so that's a good way to do it as well.
Yeah.
Cool. Good.
Good.
All right. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
I don't know what's in my head.